Hey guys, Robert here, and this has been a long time coming. I'm going back to talk about Cyberfrog. I hadn't done this in a long time. The last proper review I did was Cyberfrog Blood Honey, the very first campaign, and then I did a skim version of these books, the Unforgettable Tales books. Why? I was starting to phase out of showing the book at the camera and everything. But before I go further, I first want to say thank you to Ethan for sending me these, among other things. You have the figures here. Oh, of course, mentioning figures, I got to show off the little figure I got with Rekt Planet. Nice. Cyberfrog's tongue. Blah, blah, blah. Among so many other things. But yeah, I backed Cyberfrog. Hold on. Should have gotten this ready ahead of time. But yeah, I've gotten so many of the books. I even got all the ones you see here. I manually scanned everything. Everything. So yeah. We're going to go over everything, starting from in release order. Well, real world release order, I mean. So in this case, this is some of the first stuff Ethan had done, the Unforgettable Tales. Where, okay, the cover, unfortunately, don't scan very well. Unfortunately, sorry for that. But basically, this is a recolorization of, well, we get an introduction, of course, from Ethan from 3 years ago. Damn. But yeah, this is a coloring of it. Although originally was black and white, I believe. These ones I'm gonna more breeze through, but it's nice. I mean, just look at that artwork. Very different from the Cyberfrog we have later. In fact, he goes over it at the end of his Blood Honey book. But a lot of stuff just shows just how interesting of a character Cyberfrog was, or as his real name is. And Trick Ron. But yeah, and we go through this one, it's mostly just introducing to him dealing with the world and dealing with a bunch of monsters. We see this guy Benjamin Riley being attacked by this thing look out of like something from Spawn. I mean, it's supposed to be, I believe, a giant fly, I believe, but he's daydreaming, of course. But oh yeah, yep, it's a fly, death fly. He lives. And oh boy, just have, death fly is eating up people. We see I'm listening to, finding a tape with Pearl Jam music on it. And whoops, hold on. And now these are just two random issues. That's all these are. These are just two of his random early issues. Don't expect to get a full story out of all of these, but we see, for example, Cyberfrog dealing with a bunch of robbers and all that. Like, just a good, very 90s. This is very 90s. And I mean that in the best way. And of course, yeah, this ends there. We get a little preview of what's to come as we will be leading into Cyberfrog number 2 in just a moment. But yeah, we get some, obviously, ads, obviously. I do like when people add little bonus pages like these little puzzle pages here. I miss those puzzle pages. Oh, there's issue 2. Again, scans don't come out very well. But again, Ethan's always been a phenomenal artist. I might disagree with him on so many other things, but I will never, ever deny, and I will never deny that he is an incredible artist. And I gotta say, his writing is good for an early a rookie back in the day. Not better than some other crowdfunded writers I can think of, and I don't just mean one; I mean a couple of them. There are some who are good right out of the box, and there are some who ain't. And yeah, basically Ethan was. Although I think he gets better when he gets to the later books. But yeah, again, these just this early stuff. I mean, I'm just going over all these. I'm not going over the story per se, because again, we don't get a complete story. Side view. Sorry, the way the scans came out. But yeah, then we have Osiris and everything, and oops. Apparently, Barney was created by the devil. Of course. Typical. But yeah, I mean, we just have all of this. Again, just such good designs and everything. Again, the writing is not bad. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't set up the character, but it does dive you in and go right into the action right away. And you feel compelled about the characters. You actually feel like, oh, I want to know what happens next to him. We get more stuff for Rekt Planet. We'll be getting to that. But then there's the Amphibinox books. These ones were also like ashcan copies of the books. So the scans on this one's going to look a little wonky because, well, these ones are tiny books compared to the full issues. See what I mean? So I'm doing the best I can. But this story I remember very well. We see Cyberfrog, who by this point has met up with Heather Swan, his best friend. Basically like the April O'Neil to his Ninja Turtles. It's the best way I can describe her. But beforehand, right now he's dealing with a bunch of monsters. And oh, come on. I got this big bear, and then eventually some demonic nuns, one of which gets stuck right on his shoulder blades, and he can't get it off. Gets a little help from Salamandroid, who we'll get to a bit more about with him. But yeah, that bear is taken out, but now throughout most of the story then is, how the heck did he get the nun off? That's what the main bulk of the story is going to be, because yeah, she's stuck there like that. It's like, what am I going to do? And there's Heather. Definitely a lot different. This is showing some of Ethan's early art style. She's not bad. In fact, she looks great. But she will look better when we get to the more modern artwork, obviously. But yeah, meets up with Cyberfrog, and of course, she feels like, all right, let's go. And we get, I love this, these tiny images that show all the different ways. They try blowing him up. They try so many different things. So finally she decides, just chainsaw until she's just a head. That's where she's stuck. And then she gets an idea. Go to the fried chicken place they work at and dunk him in the grease. Get it right off of him. And sure enough, it works. But the head is still there. As the next morning, a lazy bum of a guy is there, takes it off, and he's fired. He didn't do anything. Yeah, typical. Then we get the third book. Again, these are just little small stories, just setting up stuff for him, giving people a sample story and everything. And again, the artwork on this. I'm gonna keep praising the artwork. The artwork is just so good. Just so damn good. You know what I mean? And again, the story on this, it's basic. But it's that kind of basic that works. It's like Saturday morning cartoons type of basic, but with an action edge to it. I mean, I don't know if that's what Ethan was going for, but that is how I kept getting the vibe of it. Again, you can definitely tell there's that Ninja Turtle vibes, but still very different, or Battletoads vibe, but again, still very different. And Ethan knows when to actually give character quiet moments. That's another thing I like. There's actual proper character moments where we see the characters interacting with each other. And again, more with the small battles and everything. Now, the reason also why I'm summarizing a lot of this is eventually once we get to Blood Honey, Ethan retcons everything. Well, not so much retcons, but it's more of like a soft reboot where it's a lot of the stuff that was set up of the lore. He basically decided to give it a proper lore as opposed to random junk happening all over the place. But yeah, and then we're just seeing him using an armor and all that, and just other stuff happens. Nothing much there. Then we have the Salamandroid color zine. Different colorists on this one, but again, I'm just gonna keep seeing the praise on the artwork. And we're just seeing again, I'm just breezing through this one, but we get a summary of the origin of Salamandroid, who is pretty much his quote unquote twin brother. Twin in that they were both created by Jewel and Sin. They had a ship was a sentient AI that created them. First turned a bullfrog into Cyberfrog, and then turned a salamander into Salamandroid. Wait, even though it's the whole idea of, even though CF is the big brother, you have Salamandroid being the big brother. Big difference. But yeah, there's a point though where he looks a bit more longer snout and everything. Ethan would change that later again when we get to the more recent stuff. But I still think this works. This works so well. But more than Cyberfrog, Salamandroid is the brute. Also, we see him with this girl. I don't think we see anything of her in the when we get to the more recent stuff. But yeah, again, just look at that. Just stabs the guy right in the head. Then this also includes some other pages, very artwork and everything, pinups, and then another story with Salamandroid, Salamandroid. Sorry, at least I think that's what it is. Hold on, it says Salamandroid. Salamandroid. Sorry. But now, let's get to the main event. The modern stuff. Not reprints of his old stuff, the modern stuff. The stuff that he campaigned on. Starting with Cyberfrog Blood Honey. Again, I did a review on this before, but let's just go on with this again. Part 1. As we get a bit more, but again, this is a retelling of Cyberfrog's origins. As we see Shu Sin coming on to Earth. Why? Well, this is where it's a bit of a retcon. Turns out she came here to warn everyone of the giant bees that we're going to be dealing with. The Vipses, however you say their name. But basically she's already doing a message as she's heading there. And as we already know from that Salamandroid book, that she first finds a bullfrog, rapidly evolves it, and we get Cyberfrog as we know him. And he's the protector of Earth. And basically, it's later revealed in another book that her type, these ships, are always supposed to create two brothers who are always supposed to work together. One being more the muscle, the other one being more the smaller, more able to interact with everyone. We also find out that she's able to generate him armor, but only when she's connected. If she's not connected, then he's mostly helpless. Of course, he goes out there rather optimistic, feeling like, protect the Earth and everything. Then we're also introduced to Salamandroid with his redesign, as he looks more and less long snout and more short snout, which I prefer that look. I prefer that, and I'm pretty sure Ethan does too. Otherwise, why would he do it? Oh, I gotta point this out. That Tristan is in the middle panel at the top. I know that was Tristan that he put in there. And, everyone else got appearances. Then we're also, because basically making this clear that as time went on, people started to fear him. He went in optimistic, and by the end, he is bitter. In fact, the only human he trusts is Heather, and whoo, she definitely got a good redesign. And one thing I like about Heather, she can take care of herself, but much like April, she can get in over her head. But unlike April, she doesn't always go looking for it. If it comes her way, she'll handle it. Oh, and we find out she actually makes has a tattoo made that she drew, and it's based off of Ethan's early designs of him. Hence why he's like, "Why am I gritting like that?" And of course, wait, Salamandroid is being good, but then we find out all of this has been recorded after the fact, as the Vibs have taken over, and unfortunately, Syl has been captured, which leads us into part two. And again, I'm loving the artwork. I can't help it. Ethan is one of my favorite artists. He's slow as molasses, but it's always worth it. But yeah, as we then see, Syl is having his alert, high alert. Why? They're coming, and she realizes Earth is not ready. Contacts Cyberfrog. Great pose, great pose. And this is happening in 1998. It is set in the past, around the time of the last issues, and around the time of the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky. That was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. It's all kinds of wrong. And Jill Sin gave us that sin power and battery, literally a piece of her heart. And you use it to watch CNN all day. Say what you will about Heather, she's practical. Again, what I like about, oops, sorry, I didn't even go to the next page. That's where the dialogue is. And then we see still, again, I like this. It is so Turtles-like. This goofball goofiness, but things are about to get very serious. Why? Because the Vips do not play around at all. In fact, we see them already attack one person and then go after this woman, and it turns out they turn blood into honey. Their nectar. Oh God, is this horrific. Again, I give so much props. I do. And what makes this story so interesting that you think this is going to be, they think anyway, it's going to be another adventure. Again, keep doing that. The reason why I'm doing it like this is because I'm doing this on OBS. I'm giving this a try. Unfortunately, you can only go up to 18 pages. So every time I do that, I gotta keep remember 18 pages, 18 pages. So yeah, again, they keep thinking this is going to be another, just another, fight and everything, because they have a bunch of other enemies, a bunch of other monsters or villains they usually deal with, but not in this time, not in this case. They think they're part of Pollen's, the Pollen Gang, and well, they're dealing with the Pollen Gang right now, but that's obviously not what they're dealing with. Of course, Clinton's having to gather as this big alien invasion happens. But then, again, just wow. But this is then when they also realize Sin is down, meaning they cannot access their full power. They are mostly defenseless. And unfortunately, without that, they pretty much go down hard. As unfortunately, he's so damaged, he puts himself into a healing stasis, and he stays that way for the next 20 years. It takes 20 years for him to finally heal slowly. If he had Sin with him, it would have been a lot faster. And Lord, look at this. This is just so damn good. I remember there were people complaining about it. I don't know what they're complaining about. This is good. But of course, CF realizes he needs to get out of here. He needs to make his way out, and of course he does. He has to get his way to the woods, where we see this young girl, Lily. This young girl named Lily, always wearing red. Why? Well, we'll find out. She's hanging out with this girl, but then when Cyberfrog comes out, she yells, "Hey, Mom! Cyberfrog is back!" Yep, that's Heather's daughter, Lily. And why does she wear red? To hide. They can't see her and see them if they're wearing red. Supposedly. Supposedly, anyway. This is where we get the bonus material, where we get some of his first origin, his other appearances, like what we did for Unforgettable. Some of his redesigns he did when he was at DC or commissioned, or when he was at Wildstorm. And then his more recent designs. I like some of this stuff. I wish he did more of this. I love when Ethan goes over his artwork. I really do. Again, there's Salamandroid and everything. I'm starting to get memories of when he was going over all this stuff. I remember that clear as day. So we get into the backups and the secondary story. Another one of the smaller books. This one is where we fill in some, not all, but some of the blanks what happened to Heather after what happened to Cyber and Sal. Some people are driven nuts by the VIBs and their frequencies and everything. Again, it is still 1998. As we see this thing called Soy Bomb. What is Soy Bomb? I'm still trying to figure that out. But yeah, we see Salamandroid as he's trying to deal with some of their other enemies. And him and Cyberfrog both are dealing with some of their old enemies. They had a bunch of enemies. Hold on. You have people like Rumblebee, Shockroach, Scarpa 1, Dementipede, Earwig, Spite, and Dystopia, and then you have some of these other ones. Prometheus, who seems to be, it looks like they're a musical person. But then it turns out, not long after all that, Heather deals with one of the VIBs. Oh, again, I did it again. Oh, look at this. Of course, she's able to get out of there and everything. But she's pretty much on her own, as we know. We already know what happened to CF and everything. And we're back to the multiple pages. I like how he brings that back when he does these. And he gets into there and he sees someone who they already got to, the cop, this poor cop. But eventually, we meet up with Colin. According to EVS, this is great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. His name's an acronym. Kidding. But Colin seems to be the type of guy who will help out. And we're also introduced to his son as they're basically then heading on, they head over to a bunker where that creeper who she kneed earlier is down there. And of course, she's a bit creeped out. Now, of course, either he's really there or it's just an illusion of him. It's hard to tell. But then we get from her point of view, she wakes up and hears Lily calling, saying, "Mom, he's here." Now, we get into Rekt Planet. Cyberfrog 2. As this is where things really start to take off. We see a bunch of the VIPs, flying around. We see Lily explaining about why she wears red, and she's a little standoffish with Cyberfrog. Right? Why? She has this strong urge to find her dad. Her dad is missing. We'll find about her dad in another book in a moment. But that's what she wants. She wants to find her dad, and she feels like Cyberfrog is getting in the way. But of course, Heather is so happy to see him. And even when he says, when Syl is gone down, she's like, "She's offline? You're helpless!" She's freaking out. Rightfully so. Oh boy, this bit. This one guy got stung, and he's trying to warn him, but his blood just... Oh boy, that's one of my favorite pages, is that moment where it's just like, brrrg. Gory shit. And then some of the VIPs are, the wasps are coming after them. And even without Sin's help, he still does a good job. Well, the best he can anyway. So much action here. And eventually they rip the head off and punt the head. But his arm, and we also find out that his arm and his blood cannot be turned to honey like the others. So he's immune to that. That's a good thing. Now there's Colin wearing a beard now, and basically he's causing everyone to be, he is getting everyone, they must be afraid of everything. They shouldn't try to fight back, which understandable. I get why. But he ends up shooting Cyberfrog. Why? Well, supposedly because he couldn't tell what he was without his glasses. So of course, freaked out. Then we see Scarpa one and everything. Basically, a bunch of the villains are doing their own stuff under the radar of the Vibs. At least I believe that's what they're doing. We then see Lily is trying, walking around, still helping around the community. Heather is talking with Cyberfrog and CF. And so long as he's moist, he will heal. And a gunshot like that, it's fine. He's doing better. And yeah, he's asking how how's she doing and everything. And we get a nice summary of stuff. Nothing too specific, but we make it very clear Lily really, truly loves her dad. They meet up with the whole community who want to get to know him. They want to understand, but Colin wants nothing to do with it. He then takes him to see a bunch of pigs and even kills one of them to make a point. And yeah. Of course, I do like how Cyberfrog runs like, he's crazy. He killed a pig. I think it was for a message. I love dialogue like that. But then, as soon as he shows up, he whacks him, which causes Lily to crack and cuts off part of his hair, which causes Lily to crack up and finally warm up the Cyberfrog. Eventually, again, the two talk as they're watching what's going on out there, and again, the two are just catching up on old times until Lily says, let's play soccer. Oh, one of the other enemies of Cyberfrog, who actually has had a history with Heather, Dystopia. She's skilled in witchcraft, which is what kept her alive. And what did you do it? Cyberfrog is good at soccer. So yeah, they keep an eye up, and they're all taking a liking to each other. But then this is where we find out she's been terrified ever since he went missing. She's been so worried for her own life. And again, Ethan really captures this. And the writing on all this is so good. Unfortunately, due to how OBS is, I can't see it all, so I'm not reading it. But again, so much of this is good. And then we find out some of the Vips find the dead body. So, they're on a ticking clock now. He realizes he has to warn everyone. Lily and Frog. Cute. And they're in a tree house. Really cute. But then what some of the Vips are making, ready to make a move. And then we have a moment with Dystopia basically seemingly brainwashing or manipulating Lily, saying, Cyberfrog's getting away. You must go find your father. So she paints herself red and heads on out there again. Now, of course, they don't realize she's gone missing yet, because she hasn't left yet. This is then where we see Spite show up. Again, one of his enemies. Perfectly redesigned. Brilliantly redesigned. Again, we get another great action sequence here. But Colin feels like you're a menace. We were perfectly fine until you showed up. Yeah, sure, right. What about the one that stung Ben, that guy who blew up? Yeah, what were you going to do about that? They were going to come eventually. They didn't show up. Well, they might have shown up because it followed him. That still hasn't been made clear yet. But yeah, Lily then finds a cave, goes on in there, and gets captured. Walmart. But yeah, once she realizes that Lily's missing, she needs to go find her, and even tells off Dystopia for filling her head with nonsense. Oh, but then more of them, the drones show up for action, for revenge on their murdered comrade, which they call him out saying, you say you don't kill, but you killed us. And to which, of course, he's like, I protect the humans. Things like that. I do like that. It's basically, what about us? You're killing us. It's like, yeah, because you're not human and you're killing the humans inhumanely. You don't deserve to live. It's kind of like Superman taking out the parademons. Perfectly fine, unlike Injustice. And again, just so good as they're taunting him. And basically Spite even says they always lie. So we have a point where they're saying, we actually do see red. Can they or can't they? We'll find out in the next book, I'm certain. But it turns out they have Lily. they have her and wait, yeah, yeah. Oh, geez, I have that one upside down. My mistake. But yeah, they have her, and Cyberfrog gets his tongue chopped off. I wonder if that'll grow back. Yeah. And they're even mocking Lily, saying, "Your father's dead." Unfortunately, they don't know what to do. But then Salamandroid shows up with Sin's heart, ready for to start up again. Because there was also a point I missed it where suddenly he started to his suit, Cyberfrog's suit, started to translate the Vibs, and we're gonna find out later in one of the next books why that is. Oh, there's a teaser for the next book. Some of the figures. Jay Lee's cover. Oh, did it again. Aw, that's touching. Then we get Salamandroid Dusting as we fill in what he's been up to during that time. Giving us more. I do like it how Salamandroid's not just a sidekick character. He gets his own adventures. And I like that. And this is where we also find out about some of the others that people like Sin have created have gone rogue. Like, we get this. One that's like Cyberfrog and another that's like Salamandroid. Fortunately, Salamandroid bites the head off of his brother because why? It's in his instinct, his nature to do it. He's not going to follow the rules. Oh, damn. And of course, Salamandroid is all on his own now, doing everything he can to protect Sin's heart and wait for his brother to come back. And oh boy, there's that guy we saw earlier. Oh, did it again. Almost done. Jeez, just so good. Again, the writing, Ethan's given a lot of thought into all of it. That's what I do give him props for. Maybe he's learned it from Jeff Johns, maybe it's all on his own, maybe a bit of both. I'm not sure. But Ethan knows how to craft a narrative and build and expand the world. That is what I give him the most props for. Oh, and there's where we get some of the backup pages, talking about some of the characters. And then we get Heartsick Horror, where we fill in on what happened with Heather during the in-between years and about Lily's father. As we turned out, that's where they met each other. They met each other in 2004. And basically the two seemed to hit it off quite nicely, got married and everything. And then when she tells him an adventure of one of the times when she was dealing, when Cyberfrog was dealing with one of his enemies, and during when she was pregnant with Lily, she's just cracking up. Or her husband doesn't seem to find that, he feels a little put off by that. But then as time went on, the two argued a lot. And hold on a sec. So yeah, basically even then, basically when we find out stuff like, just stuff about her family, and that how hanging out with Cyberfrog and Salamandroid was just her way needed for it to escape. Oh, sorry, sorry, that was her family that was arguing. My mistake. But we fill in so much about it. But then, Lily's dad went out on a mission and never came back. Never came back, and it's been haunting him ever since. Then we find out, of course, that how they got basically she's having, I'm guessing, this nightmare. But we also have Deathfly show up with Lily. And we get a little bit more from a different, the bear circumstances. As we bring back those bears from the Amphibinox. I do like how Ethan's tying into everything he's been doing in the other books. Again, nice little adventure dealing with the bears and everything, or werebear, I guess. And that's pretty much it. second. Trying to find a good page to end out on. Just a sec. All right, here we go. But yeah, seriously, overall, this book, this whole stuff that Ethan's been doing, it is very good. But I'll be honest, the delays make it worth it. Kind of. The end product was worth the wait. I will be honest on that. But would I want to back it again? I'm not sure. I'm still up in the air. But I will say this. It's not my gold standard. I will make that clear. Sorry, Ethan. The delays really hurt it. But the end product is some of the most highest tier stuff I have seen of in the crowdfunded community. Not just with I mean not just with, you know, Comicsgate and everything, but everything. Like all of the crowdfunded books I have seen has been really just so damn good. And again, the artwork, incredible. Just incredible. And just so much of the other things that have gone on. Hold on. But just look at everything. He knows how to lay a page. He knows how to draw people. He knows how to do our stuff. And again, his writing is good because you get a feel for the characters. You don't want to see him hurt, and you know who to hate. You know who to enjoy. That is something I like. Something that I wish some other of the writers could get a hang of, because some of these their characters feel flat. Did Cyberfrog feel flat in the early days? Yes, but there was something about him. You just had it. There was just something about Cyberfrog that made you love him. Now, ever since Blood Honey, you do feel this connection with the characters. Clearly, Ethan has learned so much in his years in the industry, and he's picked up so much that he knows how to write compelling characters. And once we get to Rekt Planet, is it a little bit of a slog? A tiny bit, in that it feels like some things get overextended, but he's an artist. He's going to do that. I completely understand. I understand why he added so many more pages to it. But at the same time, it was still very good. You get to understand the stuff with Colin and everything. The fact that we have a world where the hero lost and he has to build back up. It's kind of like Wolfenstein: The New Order and everything, where BJ lost, and now he's in a world where the Nazis run. Only in this case, it's mutant and alien wasps or Hornets or whatever. You know, things like that. This is definitely a 90s comic modernized. And I really enjoy it. I really like it. And do I recommend you all back it? If what you've seen from the artwork is up for your standard and you want a good story, then yes, I would. If you're willing to wait for the delays, that is. But, I mean, was it worth the price point? Initially, when I backed it, no. But by the end, I got not just 2 books like I ordered. I got 3 books added in. He added more pages, so it was a lot thicker. So was it more bang for its bucks at $60 in the long run? Not ignoring the delays again, yes. The delays, though, were still the problem. And I cannot avoid that. But again, but if I was to ignore the delays, I give this a solid A. It's borderline A plus for quality. Again, I have some other books I might feel top it out, but it's more of a case where they're almost equal in that regard. Anyone expecting me to trash this book? You're on the wrong place, because as you can see here, it's good. Tell me what's bad about it. I can't find anything that's bad in the product itself. Anything outside the product, ignore. With the product itself, Ethan's a master. You are a master, Ethan. I give you that. And that's all I gotta say. Hope it was worth it going over all of these. I hope it was worth me doing all the scans and everything. I'm going to delete them after this video premieres. I have no intention on keeping the scans. I got the books. I have no intention on pirating it, all right, guys? So don't even think I'm going to do that. So until then, guys, thank you so much. Ethan, I hope you like this review. And we'll see you all on the next one. Take care.